Hello. Well, just for fun, I thought I'd do another reading, and I would do one on again on South Africa. The first reading I did was about if people of influence who run South Africa get into the heart centre, out of the mental kind of cage and the trapness of what is thought and how they think about moving forward. And I thought I'd do one like that. So if they stay in the ego and they don't move forward and they don't manage to drop into the heart centre, what will happen? Okay, what lies ahead for South Africa if that doesn't happen? Okay. So the first card that comes up, the significator, is the Hierophant. This is Chiron, the wise healer, the high priest, highly accomplished in many areas of healing and history, battle and philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, astrology, all that kind of stuff. He's the high priest. He knows it all. He's done his studies and he advises and teaches lots of other leaders around the world in his time and stuff, even now, via this lovely tarot kind of stuff. What's crossing it if South Africa doesn't manage to get out of the headspace and the mental kind of stagnation here? The Queen of Wands, Helen of Troy, the magical, powerful queen here. It's fire. She's motivated. She's fearless. She's courageous. That's quite a good start, actually. So the high priest in Chiron, and the Queen of Wands, Helen, with the tamed lioness at her feet. You know, the respect. So that's quite interesting, that respect that goes on over the wise history and advice of the past. Very interesting, hey? What's the overarching card? The Two of Pentacles. This is Daedalus. He's an inventor. It's the two. He's working hard. He's starting to realize he's got ambition and he's got things he wants to do. He's invented the axe and the saw. He's highly creative, highly inventive, highly accomplished, and this is where he's just getting to realize his own power, which is also very interesting. And look at the fertile grapes on the columns. You know, it's abundance, it's richness, and it's full of promise. Hey, that's a good start, isn't it? For if South Africa stays in this energy. All right, what's at the bottom of this? No. I love it when this happens. Look at this. Look at what's the bottom of the reading. That's exactly the same card that was at the first reading, exactly the same place. Oh, it's Perseus with his love, his loyalty, his artistic poetry. Oh, that's amazing. That's actually amazing, because it means wherever the mind is and the heart is, at the bottom of it, you've got love. Okay, that is so mind-blowing. Wow, that is mad. So here he is on his white horse of, pure intent, bringing love and his creativity, his artistry. As I said in the other reading, it's about, this is often about love and the trust and the almost naivety of giving love. And in this myth, it's about the love of women and whatever. But we're talking about a country here, so at the base of it, it's still love. It's like, get the love vibe on, get into this heart, get out of this space here, okay, and create a new history, a new way of working, a wonderful way of relating, because that's what the Knight of Cups is, isn't it? Love is all about relating and relationships. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, what's in the past? No. Oh my goodness, it just freaks me out when this happens, right? Look at that. That was in the other reading. Now remember, I put my cards back, I put them back one at a time into the deck so they're all spaced out. Shuffle them. In the past, we've got the Page of Cups. Wow. So again, we've already said this. I now sound like a stuck record. Narcissists. We've just had this card. It's self-love. and not being able to possess the self. It is being obsessed with the self, loving the it is kind of also about love as in the Knight of Cups. It is about understanding love and the depths of love and the different kind of types of love. Obviously, Narcissus became obsessed with himself and killed himself because he couldn't possess himself. And then the Narcissus flower came up where his blood was spilt. I said in the other reading, it makes me think about narcissism and that the fine line between love of self and narcissistic love, which is being obsessed with the self. And I was saying, did people from other places, other countries look at South Africa with a loving heart and just love it and want to possess it and just fall in love with it? Very possible. It's a beautiful place, like I said. Or do they see South Africa as ego obsessed with themselves, obsessed with their own reflection? Because obviously he first saw his reflection, as I said in the other reading, in a pond, and his mother had kept him away because everyone fell in love with him. So does everyone fall in love with South Africa, or do they see South Africa again as just kind of having a few issues of just like seeing a reality? Or, yes, you're brilliant, but you don't have to be obsessed with yourself and then, do stuff that isn't very productive. It's in the past in this reading, so that's brilliant. In the past, wow, what's in the future? Wow, how beautiful. So, in the future, should this mentality stay the same, it still leads to the Ten of Cups. It leads, and again, the Ten of Cups, it comes from trials, tribulations, difficulties. She lost Eros. Psyche lost Eros. She had to do the 7 initiations set by Aphrodite, and eventually by resigning herself to the end of her, she had to go into the underworld, which is the deep unconscious, going deep into the self. Maybe this is actually what it's all about, going deep into the self. South Africa does go deep into the self, into the unconscious, and then reaps the rewards, and it's a happy ending, and it all works out. That it's all there, the love, the creativity. Oh, there's a little bug in front of my face there. The golden wings, the again, the relating through the hard kind of tasks that they've been through. You get this beautiful Ten of Cups, this fantastic happy ending, this joyful, love-filled ending. Okay, this is in the future. This is what is possible for South Africa. Let's see if the mental stagnation carries on, what happens. Oh, well, that's really interesting. Look at this. So here we've got where South Africa would find itself, okay, and we've got the Four of Pentacles. This shows where Daedalus, the brilliant inventor, is looking over the shoulder of his nephew, and his nephew is actually already outstripping Daedalus in his own invention skills. And Daedalus, as you can see, gets very protective and a little bit insecure about what he's built. Now this is very interesting, because what actually happens is the Four of Pentacles can often be seen as the card of the miser. He's holding on to it. He's not sharing anything. It's like, it's all mine. It's all mine. You're not having anything because it's mine. And actually what happens with Daedalus is he ends up killing his nephew. Now that's a very stark warning for South Africa, isn't it? Being miserly, just holding on to everything, not sharing, not kind of just wanting to bring other people on, not being happy because other people have got talents that outstrip the the established system, stopping people coming up. Now that is fascinating, and that is what not moving on from mental stagnation will bring. It started off so well, didn't it? That will lead to this jealousy, envy, not wanting other people to take the reins, not wanting to give up, or bring people on, or not wanting just to share your skills with people. He kills his nephew by accident. They're having an argument on top of a temple roof, and he pushes his nephew, and his nephew falls off and dies. So it was an accident, but he was full of jealousy. Okay, so that's quite interesting. How do other people see South Africa if their mental stagnation doesn't change? This is mad. I love it when this happens. I love it. There's something so spooky about it. I love it. Because look, this is the card that represents how other countries can see South Africa if they don't move out of this mental stagnation. Should we let the boy racer go off again? He's probably just revving it up outside his house, getting some sense of stimulation from it all. Anyway, so this is it. So this is the card that represents how other people will see South Africa if they don't get out of their ego. We had that again. We had it again. That was in the past, in the other reading. Oh, there's 3 cards that have come up again. That is mad. Okay, this is how other countries will see South Africa if they don't get their act together. That, again, that mental, this is what I've been talking about, the mental stagnation, the tortuous thoughts, just the cage, the prison of the mind, will stop. That kind of, just that acting on worry. Thoughts that worry. They'll look at South Africa, what are they doing? What is going on? Worried about South Africa, worrying about what is going on, worrying about, they see South Africa as just not being able to get out of their head. That's exactly what the whole reading is about. What happens if they don't get out of their head, and the history and that whole mentality, if they keep that mushrooming, for more decades and more decades, there's got to be healing. It's the only way it can work. It's got to be healing. It's got to come into the heart. It's got to be spiritual. And Rufus obviously has decided to come and walk over my reading. Anything to say about South Africa and the history? No, just lick away. Okay, so what's in the what's the hopes and fears? Okay, I would say this was a, what do you think, Rufus? The Page of Swords, words, bitching, gossip. That's got to be a fear, a concern. Let's say not hopes and fears, hopes and concerns. That's got to be a concern. Again, that there's too much hot air, literally. There's too much hot air. Too many people talking too much rubbish. Windbags. It's all words, no action. There's no change. It's all hot air. Zephyrus, the west wind. It's the Zephyrus. It's like he's in the cloud, just blowing. It's just like a lot of politicians. It's all hot air. People can say what they want over and over and over again. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the eating of the pudding. The proof is in the building. The proof is in job creation. The proof is in health, clean water. The proof is in job, He's just like pushing my cards all over the place onto the floor. Hey. So the proof of South Africa growing is all of that kind of stuff, and again the whole looking after the people, protecting the people. So this Page of Swords is like hot air. It's just no, and like I say, it's gossip, it's bitching, it's like arguing, it's stuff being said that's just like like that, just coming out of the mouth and stuff, out of the lungs. The good thing about that sometimes is that you can obviously, some stuff has to be spoken in order to heal. You'll never heal a rift between a friend or work colleagues or whatever if it's not spoken about. It has to come out, and someone has to have the courage to go, all right, let's just sit down and talk about this, or send a letter, an email, an SMS, a text, whatever, and just go, right, let's sort this out. Someone's got to be courageous. So Okay, what's the outcome? Well, that is actually really quite apt, I would say. So the outcome is let me get that right, with the Ten of Wands, right? And the Ten of Wands is Jason. He had his moment of fantasticness in life. He had his band of merry men. He fought the dragon to get the golden fleece. He was very brave, and then he comes home and it's like a big, depressing non-event. He becomes crushed by his own success. He can never find the days of glory that he got when he was in his heyday. And I know this, obviously this is the Mythic Tarot deck. In the Rider-Waite, it's the Ten of Wands is a guy who has been working hard and he's taken all his wands to market, so to speak, and it's just become a burden. Everything is just a burden. It's not joyful, it's not happy, it's heavy, it's unfortunate, it's just like completely crushing him down, okay? So that is the outcome of what happens if South Africa doesn't move dimensions, if it doesn't shift dimensionally, thinking differently, acting differently, saying different things, putting different people in power. My stuck record word, responsibility, becoming responsible. Just if people have done bad things, punish them for it, get them out of the position, get people with moral integrity, honesty, intelligence, just to kind of put all this together. People who aren't just going to say yes to foreign powers because of, what they can get, as a backhander or whatever. So I know it happens in most countries, but I think that's absolutely fantastic, because when I started that reading, I thought, oh, it's going to work out. It's kind of, if they stay in their stagnated head, it's still going to work, but it's not. Not with the Nine of Swords and not with the Four of Pentacles, that jealous, miserly, and again, mental miserly with what you're giving out. The one thing, again, I won't get political about it, but I remember thinking earlier this year, the president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, basically was so overjoyed at how many people were on benefits. And, he saw it as a great benchmark of success, that you got, millions of people on benefits. And I'm not a politician. I have no idea about this, and I can be very naive and fantasy kind of utopian dream kind of thing myself. But I'd be more happy if I'd got 2 million people working on jobs, because again, work gives people self-respect, self-esteem, not only the money, that gives them purpose and all kinds of stuff. And then obviously there's a tax benefit for the country because they get a little bit of tax. And then I'd be much happier about, that than thinking, oh, there's 2 million people, unable to work because there's no jobs and there's no this, that or the other, and where's the money for all the benefits coming from? So anyway, who am I but some lovely, airy, fairy, kind of head in the clouds, utopian dream, give me the vision of the perfect world person that loves magic and has actually got quite a bit of ability to look at facts and figures. That I do lots of research. Anyway, it's not about me, it's about the tarot. I think that is brilliant. I think it's right on the nail. Do tell me what you think. Can't believe that the Page of Cups and the Knight of Cups was here again, and the Nine of Swords. So I would say those cards really do denote, obviously, some of the big, the big changes going on. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Tell me what you think. As I always say, your lovely inputs, my tarot friends. Always great to learn from each other. So big love to you. Have a beautiful week, and see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.